You know, I don't think about the future of cinema as much as I think about, you know, the movie that you're making at the moment, and that points to the future. Clearly, theater-going experience is threatened right now. Economically, it's hard to get people and make theaters work, so that's a big concern. How are the movies going to get made? Technology makes them easier to make, but also there's a lot of stuff, so the discourse is kind of dumbed down because nobody pays attention. I'm hopeful. I
think with technology, we can never take for granted that we will always have cinema as we know it, especially independent film. I mean, we are an independent film, and that's been incredibly important for me personally in my career in making sure we can protect that. Our film was completely independently put together, and it's so important to have that kind of a platform for certain stories that we want to tell, like our movie, Late Fame. That is the name of our movie, right? Is that why we are here? Yes, okay, just checking.
Hello, Venice. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. It's my first time in Venice and at the festival. I can't wait for you to see the movie.
It reflects reality and it interacts with reality, but it isn't reality. That's the thing about art. That's the thing about all art. And so it allows us to dream. It allows us to reflect. It allows us to imagine what we know in a different way and to reframe our idea of the world. And in that sense, I suppose it does help us to dream because, you know, where would we be without the ability to dream?
To me, the message of cinema, it was, you know, it's the oldest storytelling device, and, you know, it started with word of mouth and then written word, and then, so I think it's something to capture stories and emotion that you can, you know, pass those stories on and that message on. You know, I think it's grown into a way to visually, especially with our film, we have very few lines of dialogue, so it, you know, it's such a visual medium of, I guess, you know, spreading those stories and those tales. It's a hard question. I need to think more about that.
Ciao.
Ciao.
I'm so happy to be here.
So am I.
So excited.
Here with what film?
Our film is really good, I think.
It's called Motor City.
And we're very proud of it.
I'm delighted to be here. Please come. Enjoy. Thank you for having us.
Grazie mille.
Grazie.
Music and film has been at the heart of all of our work for 30 years now. And the possibility of finding innovative ways of combining it and pushing those forms. You know, we saw that music often enters into the filmmaking process quite late with the score. You know, it's the kind of last thing to fall into place. Whereas for us, it's usually the first thing that we want to kind of put in place to make sure it's there.
But I think film and music both have the same heart, ultimately. You know, they're both mediums through which we try to connect with other human beings. We try and tell stories about our lives, we try and create worlds, we try and enter into emotional journeys that resonate with an audience. And I think as filmmakers, as musicians, we're all striving to make that very human connection.
Yeah, I mean, the way to do movies, try to make movies. I know a lot of people I'm a screenwriter, so for many years I wrote and wrote, but it's, the whole thing is find a camera, find friends, get out there, start doing it. That's the best way to learn it. Do it, edit it. Might not be that good the first time, and do another and another and another. That's the best advice I can get.
Especially when you're a kid, but hopefully also later in life, you have experiences with films that makes your mind fly into a cloud. You can be someone else. You can be part of that film in your imagination. I think we all had experiences like that when we were kids, and hopefully we get it when we're adults as well, when we see something that blows us away. So film is a magical media, for sure.
If I should give an advice to myself when I was 17 and I started doing my first movie, I would have said that definitely worth the space on this planet. That was my biggest thing, that I didn't know that I didn't have the confidence at all. And confidence sometimes comes from nowhere. And you just have to know that it's fine. Your DNA is fine on this planet. You are meant to be here. And that was something that I was struggling with when I was young. So I would give that advice to myself. Have confidence in yourself.
Hello, my name is Sofie Gråbøl. I'm from Denmark, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here at the Venice Film Festival. It's like, as Venice, it's like a fairy tale.
I think that when you go to the movies and you experience true cinema, it is like a religious moment. And you, like the church, you keep going every Sunday, but you don't experience salvation every time. But now and then you do, and then that's why you keep coming back.
The first take, the first day, was me walking on the ice with a prosthetic leg. And after a few takes, I was completely exhausted because I was putting way too much effort into it. And so I guess I would give myself the advice to maybe practice a little bit more before doing it, saving it for the first take. And it was, I realized also, like, what I ended up doing was having to count it. Like, I have to walk in 3/4 in order for it to make sense. So yeah, I would tell myself that.
To not try to impose your will on the scene at hand. So if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling frustrated, work with that. And what a privilege it is to feel anything.
Much a similar kind of thing, probably just pace yourself, because it's a huge movie with all these different ebbs and flows and rhythms, and you can't just like, you do the first take and you're like, and you need to, be ready that it's going to take a long time.
Beh, intanto le nuvole ci sono, che sono fondamentali. Per me le nuvole mi accompagnano sempre nei miei film. Sono una presenza silenziosa ma fondamentale per filmare per me, perché la nuvola mi dà l'ombra, mi dà la possibilità di girare a 360 gradi e trovare l'inquadratura giusta. Quindi io senza nuvole non giro mai. Io vedo che qui c'è una nuvola enorme che produce poi, prodotta probabilmente da, come dice Cocteau, il Vesuvio produce tutte le nuvole del mondo. E quindi le nuvole del Vesuvio sono arrivate anche sul vostro poster.
Quando ero più piccolo, quando ero adolescente, ero molto insoddisfatto della realtà, per cui ho iniziato a immaginare storie, anche per allontanarmi, e scrivere, immaginare e poi scrivere nella forma più embrionale del termine era il mio modo di camminare sulle nuvole. E il cinema è stato maestro ed il cinema è stato salvezza. Non potrei immaginarmi da nessun'altra parte, ma la mia vera fortuna è aver iniziato a camminare su queste nuvole quando avevo 12-13 anni. E ora ringrazio tanto il ragazzino che ero, perché mi ha portato a fare qualcosa che amo davvero. Un film horror a Venezia sarebbe complicatissimo, perché Venezia è complicata, ma inizierei dall'acqua. Io amo l'acqua, amo l'elemento dell'acqua. Vorrei girarlo sotto Venezia.
Allora, io di ricordi ne ho tantissimi, potrei appunto citare la mia esperienza da padrino, madrino, presentatore, che è stata un'esperienza incredibile, bellissima, ma il ricordo più importante che ho della mostra è semplicemente una fila per entrare in una sala. Prima avevo più possibilità per farlo, insomma venivo, presentavo un film, ma avevo più tempo, quindi anche più tempo per poter vedere i film, e la cosa che desideravo di più era quella proprio di mettermi in fila e parlare del film che avremmo visto da lì a poco, dei film che avevamo visto il giorno precedente. Insomma, quello della fila è una cerimonia bellissima che rifarei adesso proprio.
In parte condivido questo ricordo, perché il mio primissimo ricordo della mostra è da spettatrice con la mia accademia di cinema. Io ho studiato alla scuola d'arte cinematografica Gian Maria Volonté e quindi niente, ci organizzavamo, attendevamo settembre come si attende il mese più bello dell'anno, perché ci organizzavamo, prendevamo a casa tutti insieme gli accrediti e cercavamo di mangiarci più film possibili nel minor tempo possibile. quindi con i miei amici e colleghi, e poi senz'altro il ricordo dell'anno scorso che è meraviglioso insieme a Francesca Comencini e a Fabrizio Trifuni con Il tempo che ci vuole, che è un film che è stato molto caro alla mia regista. Io ho interpretato lei, quindi insomma su più livelli è stata una mostra epifanica, mi viene da dire, per me quella dell'anno scorso. E quest'anno invece, siccome è la seconda volta, quello che mi auguro è di divertirmi un po' di più. Ecco, la tensione dell'anno scorso vorrei alleggerirla un po' con quest'horror che uno, insomma, io spero che il pubblico si spaventi, ma noi ci siamo tanto divertiti a farlo, quindi questo è un ricordo di quest'anno, spero sia.